The October 2020 Visa Bulletin is out. It was released a lot later than usual, but it's finally out and it's not what I was expecting. As most of you know, the Visa Bulletin shows which green card applications are eligible to move forward based on when you filed your I-130 or I-140 petition. That date is your priority date. October 1st is the beginning of the new fiscal year for the USCIS. Each year, there are a fixed number of immigrant visas available for both employment categories and the family-based categories. When the new year starts on October 1st, a new supply of immigrant visas becomes available. Usually, this means that categories that may have retrogressed in August or September tend to bounce back when the new fiscal year starts. However, we've never started a new fiscal year in the midst of a global pandemic before. One quick embassy update, and then we'll get right into the Visa Bulletin. Back in July, U.S. embassies and consulates abroad were told they could start reopening. But given the global pandemic and the immigration proclamation that limited certain visa categories, very few embassies were actually opening up their calendars for immigrant visa appointments. Some consulates actually opened up their calendar for visa appointments and then suspended them again as the pandemic worsened in their countries. So things are constantly changing and information is becoming outdated very quickly. Keep checking your local consulate websites for updates and calendars for openings. Some embassies and consulates are closed but accepting emergency visa appointments, so you can reach out to them to see if you qualify. If you are in the CR1, IR1, or K1 fiancé visa category, it may be worth your time to try and reach out to the consulate to see if they'll give you an emergency visa appointment. If you aren't sure what to say and how to make your case to the consulate, reach out to an immigration attorney that has likely helped clients secure emergency visa appointments. They'll be able to point you in the right direction. Now, this is not a sure thing, but it's certainly worth a try, and we've heard of immigration attorneys sharing client stories where they've been able to get visa appointments. However, if you are within the limits of the recent immigration proclamation, such as the F2A category, even if you try to request an emergency visa appointment, you're unlikely to get one unless you qualify for some sort of exception. Okay, let's get into the October Visa Bulletin, and be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss next month's update. I'm going to dive straight into the dates, but if you aren't sure how to read the Visa Bulletin charts, the difference between the final action dates and the dates for filing chart, what a priority date is, then I recommend you watch this video where I walk you through step-by-step how to read the Visa Bulletin and then come back to this bulletin. I always start with the family categories, and this month is really unusual because the dates in both charts, the final action dates and dates for filing charts, did not move at all from September. There was zero movement. At first, I thought I made a mistake and was looking at the old bulletin, but after staring at them for a little while, I realized there really is no movement. Now, I have a few thoughts on why this might be. Family categories are primarily processed at U.S. embassies and consulates abroad. There is limited processing capacity right now due to embassy closures, and processing capacity plays a role in the dates moving forward. There is also a backlog of visa appointments for folks whose appointments were canceled months ago, along with people whose appointments were rescheduled recently and then canceled again. However, there was some positive movement in the employment categories, which many immigration professionals had predicted because they thought that the unused family visas would likely get allocated to the employment categories. The biggest news in October is that the EB3 category is current for all countries except India and China. India and China do, however, move forward 3.5 to 4.5 months respectively. In the EB1 category, China moves forward 3 months and India 3 months. In the EB2 category, China and India move forward roughly 1.5 to 2 months. In the EB5 category, we see no change for the C5 and T5 immigrant visas, but I5 and R5 are temporarily unavailable. This sometimes happens and should bounce back in the next few months. I know this was a disappointing month for the Visa Bulletin, especially in the family categories, but if I come across any predictions for the next couple of months, I will certainly share them here. In the meantime, if you found this helpful, hit the like button below and share this with anyone who needs to see this. I'll see you in the next video.